Good morning from the National Weather Service office in Gaylord. Welcome to the latest hazardous weather briefing for eastern upper and northern lower Michigan. Today is Wednesday, the first day of May 2013. From a hazardous perspective, for the next couple of days, you will see the risk for some thunderstorm development across the region. There'll be a frontal boundary moving into the state this morning, which will then stall out across northern lower Michigan and meander across the region over the next couple of days, and that will set the stage for some thunderstorm development. Not a whole lot of severe weather is expected out of this setup, although some of the stronger storms could produce some small hail and perhaps some gusty winds as well. But here's a look at the current weather map starting from this morning. We see that frontal boundary off to the west, located over parts of eastern Lake Superior, central upper Michigan, and back down across Wisconsin, parts of southeast Iowa, and back into Kansas. This boundary will continue to press eastward into lower Michigan later this morning, and then will stall out and remain in place for later on tonight and right into the day on Thursday, and probably to round out the week as well, as there'll be a strong area of high pressure off to the east that's going to hold that frontal boundary in place. So here's the forecast weather map for Thursday morning. We see that front still sitting over northern lower Michigan. If we jump ahead to Friday morning's weather map, we see basically the same thing. High pressure off to the east, a cold air mass off to the west, spilling down into the plains, all the way down into the southern plains and parts of Texas. And right in between will be that frontal boundary that'll be sitting across the region, and that will be the focus for some precipitation chances of the next couple of days. But not a whole lot of precipitation is expected over our region. Here's a 3-day rainfall forecast. This runs from today through Saturday morning. And we see precipitation amounts across northern lower and most of eastern upper Michigan are expected to be on the light side, with the heavier precipitation expected farther to our west, where there's a rather wide swath of anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches of predicted precipitation across parts of the central plains, Iowa, and up into the upper Midwest. And not all of that is going to fall as rain. Some of that is going to come down as snow, and they are expecting some accumulations across parts of western upper Michigan, parts of Wisconsin, and even into southern Minnesota and into parts of northwest Iowa. So not a very good start to the month of May for them. In the meantime, however, for today, that frontal boundary settling in will set the stage for maybe some thunderstorm development across interior northern lower Michigan this afternoon. That will be very dependent on moisture return across the region. As long as it remains moist, with temperatures warming into the lower 80s ahead of this front, we will see that there are some thunderstorms developing. Again, severe storms are not expected, at least to be widespread. Some of the stronger storms will be capable of producing some small hail and maybe some wind gusts upwards of 35 to 40 miles an hour. That threat for thunderstorms will begin to wind down a little bit this evening, and then we may see some more development later on tonight across parts of eastern upper and northwest lower Michigan as well. And with that front hanging on over the next couple of days, we will continue to see some thunderstorm chances as that boundary remains in place. That concludes this hazardous weather briefing for this morning. Thank you for listening in. The next update is expected around 5 o'clock this afternoon.